Y'all ready for this? Hello and welcome to another episode of Party Bonus, a
Cue the air
sketch
horn.
comedy.
Cue the air horn.
What? Oh, wait, yeah, I'm going back. Y'all ready for this? Hello and welcome to another episode of Party Bonus, a sketch comedy podcast where we three indie horror writers share their sick sense of humor. My name is Zach Ellenberger.
And I'm Dev award-winning author Salve.
I'm Sean Grammy Johnson.
Boy, here
Please
we go.
clap.
Please.
Please clap.
Hello, everyone. I feel like it's been forever since we chatted.
Yeah.
How are we all doing?
I'm alive,
What is our-
and so are you.
We are all alive for the moment.
Well, if you think about it, we're all slowly dying, actually.
We're all
Aw.
dead in this moment. Forget it. We're all dead. It's over.
Actually, I've been dead for a while. Neither of you two are real. I'm just trapped in limbo.
You're just conspiracy theories. You're birds.
I'm
Yeah.
more comfortable with that existence.
At least I know the field I'm playing on.
You really want to be a figment of my imagination? Are you sure about that?
I take it all
Hey,
back.
positive.
At least I know where I stand. You know what I'm saying?
It's all Demu Bongir in
At
there.
least I know I'm just imaginary. It's all Dimmu Bongir in here.
So maybe that's my party bonus, is that I discovered Dimmu Bongir.
Yeah, there you go. So what's our party bonus? Is your party bonus finding Dimmu Bongir?
Yes, the stoner parody of Dimmu Borgir and their song "A Witch is Stoned," which is the funniest thing I've seen aside from Jada Pinkett Smith's band all day.
I mean, it's no wicked wisdom, but
Yeah, about like span of 5 minutes. I was originally going to say I got a notification today that I am in the top listeners for Green Day because I'm so fucking normal. I'm so normal about Green Day. But yeah, Dimmu Borgir is pretty lit too. I might become one of their top listeners soon.
fast track to weed black metal. You've been corrupted.
Sean, what's your party bonus?
My party bonus is have we talked about Terrifier 3 in this yet?
I don't think so. I don't think we have.
Oh
Why
my
don't you dish it to us?
My party bonus is actually enjoying earnestly a Christmas movie. That is not at all a Christmas movie, but there's Christmas stuff in it. And I thought that just the existence of Christmas stuff alone, because I'm going to hate for a second. Allow me to hate for a second.
Drop that hate. A big stinkeroo.
I'm like, please clap. I don't enjoy Christmas. And Terrifier 3 is a Christmas horror movie. And it was so gross. I loved it. I loved the shit out of it. It's amazing.
It's near Halloween our time. It's weird when you see Christmas stuff before Halloween.
It's like
Yeah,
guilt-free
which
'cause
I
it's
have,
indie.
by the way. I did it. I tried to do Halloween shopping and it's all Christmas these days. Sean, the argument you gave for why Terrifier 3 is a Christmas movie is the same thing I have said to a room of people who insisted that Die Hard was not a Christmas movie.
Listen,
I
there's
made
Christmas
the
stuff in
exact
it.
same argument. I'm like, think about it. If there's Christmas in a movie, you're gonna be thinking about it. Like it's a mimetic concept. You know, if there's even a remote amount of Christmas in it, people are gonna think about that. So yeah, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Sorry, nerds.
Sorry, nerds. You don't get this one. This one's all Christmas. Welcome,
Checkmate,
Bruce Willis.
motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Try and get around that argument.
There is one. I'm not going to ruin any scenes from it. I'm not going to say shit about it other than the fact that there is a wide shot, like in the middle of the movie, that has a Christmas song, a somber Christmas song playing, and him sitting at like a bus stop that is just like, I was like, this is the most mentally confused and emotionally confused I've been in a long time, and it's hilarious. I love it.
I better see it then once it comes out on like streaming or video or something.
If you can catch it in a theater, the movie's actually an indie. Like they don't have distribution. They're paying for all of their.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
been seeing a lot of posts about it. A lot of people really hyping it up. So I'm definitely interested, and
If you
I
want
love
something
supporting an indie project. So
way gross. It's way gross. Expect the grossest.
Nice.
I mean, it's definitely the series has been known for being over the top with its gore, so I wouldn't expect
So
anything less.
when we say gross, are we talking like Cronenberg gross or Aaron Beauregard gross?
No, we're
'Cause, like
talking like straight splatter,
Aaron Beauregard gross.
Aaron
I don't
Beauregard.
know Aaron
Like
Yeah.
it's
He
not
wrote
gonna.
the Playground. It's a splatterpunk book, but it got well known for throwing just the most horrendous shit at you, chapter after chapter, including like eating poop. Just like weird, gross shit like that. So that
I wouldn't say it's gonna make you think any deeper on a deeper level like a Cronenberg would.
okay, all right.
No, it's straight hilarious, like stupid
It
B
is
movie
straight just
garbage.
gore,
It's
extreme
just
horror.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's like I think there was one shot that had some CG in it that needed it.
It's in no way like splatterpunk, I guess
No.
a proper term.
I don't know. Does splatterpunk in video form, is that a thing?
That
Like
is a
what
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
what would you call splatterpunk in video form?
Well, it's funny because I think we were
Like
actually,
something you can think of.
I don't know if you, we were having this discussion the other day in one of our chats for one of our new projects we were working on, and it was talking about the difference between like splatter punk and just extreme horror.
Yeah, because there's a difference for sure.
Yeah, and it was, I think what it landed on was splatter punk is having that aggressive violence with meaning, a deeper meaning behind it, where like the extreme horror is just pure violence for
See, I always thought of it
violence
like
sake.
in a historical sense to where like the sort of deeper meaning it started out as a reaction to heavy censorship in the 90s where like people were just like, oh, you're going to be super censoring, and like censorship is wrong obviously, so we're just going to protest against that by making the most horrific shit imaginable. And so that's kind of how it started, and now there's more variety to the genre, but like it's pretty recent. But I think that's why there's like that addendum of punk versus just splatter,
Hmm.
that there's that element of like social commentary in it. So
I read a lot of splatterpunk comics. I don't know. I probably have watched a bunch of stuff that qualifies in video territory. I just don't know what it is or what is qualified as, I guess. Do you ever see do you ever read Red Room?
I haven't, but I've heard of
No.
it.
I guess Red Room is Ed Piskor. It's I think it was comic book and then into volumes, but super fucking gross. What was the one we were talking about? We were talking about one the other day that was getting adapted. Crossed? Kind of splatterpunk territory.
Of course, I had to go online to look it up and see what Reddit says about it. And
Because Reddit is always correct, as we
Reddit
know.
is always correct. It is factual.
Don't you try to correct Reddit.
Internet. It is factual. And they kind of separate it as extreme horror being an offspring of splatterpunk, and saying that splatterpunk writers tend to be goth and metal counterculture outsiders, as were their characters. So a lot of stories about the music and club lifestyle, stories were no holds barred when it came to sex and sexuality, gay culture, BDSM, piercing, tattooing, and sexual violence. And the prose styles were often mixes of literate extremism and beat poetry, often deliberately cultivating a punk aesthetic, rejecting what had become before, and striking out in new and raw fashion.
This sounds like it was written by somebody who is a splatterpunk author
Right?
and thinks very, very highly of themselves. I gotta say, there were parts of that were reminiscent of like some shit you'd hear from somebody who thinks they're like a Joker Kinney, or they're like super, super into the Joker. And I think that would tie into pretty well tie into a question that we had sort of discussed, and which I think now would be a good time to discuss, which is if you had to sit through one of them, Cats or Joker 2.
Oh, let me just shake off that weird shiver up the spine I got for having to think about either of those movies.
Yeah, there's like a unique sensation of fear and disgust that comes with that. Were either of you going to tell me that Joker 2 is a musical, or was I going to have to find that out on my own?
I thought that was I've apparently familiar information to people who at least were hearing about it, seeing about it, because okay, I heard about that basically when it first started coming around, which was when right after they announced the second one in the works, and they're like, "Oh, they're going to be doing this musical angle to it," which at first I think a lot of people didn't fully believe, and even myself. I hope this is fake because I'm not going to buy into that. I fucking hate musicals to like
Yeah, I
no end,
can't with
and that's the thing.
musicals.
So that's the thing right there for me on this is, well, a couple things on this. It's like, they're both musicals as we come to identify. So there's a equal basis of hatred on both those fronts for those. However, one,
I have a more nuanced take, but go ahead.
I'm sure you do because I'm very general about this right now. Because Cats on the one side, it's coming from a musical. So it's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, there's an understanding and common place for that. Joker is coming from an Academy Award win and transitioning into a musical for no other reason that I can understand other than apparently he wants to try and stick it to the more incel fans of his first movie that were like super excited about
fair, his
the
incel
violence.
fans deserve it.
Yeah. Which it lost $70 million and basically probably jeopardized your career in Hollywood too.
Yeah. And
Was it worth the statement though?
What was the critical response to Joker 2? Do most people hate it or?
Oh, it lost a ton of money.
Ton of money. Okay, yeah, that kind of that track. It's a jukebox musical too, so like they didn't even fucking try. Like they could have just
That's what I hear.
Yeah, well, like Lady Gaga did like original songs for it, but like if it's a jukebox music, you're just using other songs. Like you didn't even try. Where at least with Cats, that was all like original compositions, right?
Right. Sure.
You know, and like here's the thing. For whatever reason, musicals make me cringe. I just can't watch them. I don't know why. It's like this visceral feeling of secondhand embarrassment that I get. Now, I do understand that there are some talented people that go into those. Like, you got to be really good at singing, really good at dancing, and you have to be able to do all of that while acting on stage. Like, I get it, okay? There's a lot of talent that went into the first productions of Cats.
Sure.
They didn't get those kinds of people to do Cats, did they? they got fucking James Corden is in that movie. Like,
but they also got like A-list actors, like Idris Elba was in it.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Wait,
and
Joker
again,
2?
oh no, sorry, Cats.
We're talking about Cats.
Yeah.
What the fuck just happened? It was like Idris Elba was in Joker 2.
Have you seen Cats? Have either of you seen Cats 2019?
No.
Oh,
and that's what makes this even better because I've never seen either yet. So it's up in the air.
Cats sucks to look at and see and take in with the eyes. But it's more than that because some of them are quite bad at singing too, and like the backup dancers have to kind of carry the weight because they're the actually talented people. Idris Elba has a couple of moments where he plays McCavity and he just goes McCavity and then he like disappears. And there's one part where Jason Derulo's character tries to he's got a foot fetish and he tries to like suck on a character's foot. It's really gross.
That's how it tracks in the musical is foot fetish.
Yeah, and James Corden, the reason I remember he's in that film is because he hacks up a hairball and it's so disgusting to look at.
His character's name, Bustopher Jones.
I think he was actually Rum Tum Tugger, if I remember correctly.
Oh no, he's listed as Bustopher Jones. Okay.
Oh yeah, excuse me. Yeah. I do think
Jason Derulo was Rum Tum Tugger. Sorry.
Yeah, Judi Dench was actually a pretty good cast for the character that she played. It was just weird to see a phenomenal actress like her in such a shit ass movie. Like it was really yikes.
It was a real yikes.
Well, it's funny because no, I never saw it, but also I do remember that it was torn apart after release for how bad it was. Because I'm going to go down the cast list here because when I shut out all these names, you're going to be like, you know this you saw the movie, didn't you? No, it was. Yeah. I'm reading the list. Damn it! It was Ian McKellen, Ray Winston, James Corden, Jennifer Hudson, Jennifer Hudson, Taylor Swift,
Rebel
Judi
Wilson.
Dench. Yeah. I mean, a lot of A-list actors, and it's not to say they can't sing, but I'm sure I don't know.
They might have got training on it for it, but regardless, it's just kind of like the thing that makes Cats work is the fact that it's a stage play. Because the moment you try to adapt it to a live action thing, you run into the question of, are we going to make these look like real cats? Are we going to make them look like people? What's
Are
going
we
to
going to
happen?
give them genitals?
Let's find the uncanny valley in between, please.
Yeah, are we going to have Jason Derulo try to eat one of their feet on camera in front of God and everybody? Or are we just going to like, you know, but then there's also the fact that like musicals are written in a specific way. It's like for the stage, you know, so there's always going to be problems when you're trying to take that into a film. It's,
I mean,
That's actually my opinion of musical film, is that I enjoy musicals a lot, going to musicals, but so many adaptations of musicals to
they fall
film
flat. Yeah.
just don't track well. The humor doesn't land the right way.
I mean, just looking at the still shots from the movie, these characters look terrifying.
Yeah. Very uncanny valley.
And it's
Like-
kind of based on like an
Yeah.
on an interactive setting to some degree, because like a lot of
Yes.
musicals are playing to literal crowd in front of them at some point. At least it feels interactive. Not,
I
not
honestly
interactive.
think-
That's the wrong word. Like
Yeah.
Immersive. Maybe.
there's something else that I wanted there, but it is like once you take that out of it, you only get, if it gives you like a little bit of that feeling, and it totally gives me that feeling every time I watch a movie or like a film adaptation of a musical. Somebody's breaking into song, and I'm feeling awkward now, and we're getting just a weird feeling in the back of the neck when somebody is breaking into song. Like, oh, I don't know if I
Yeah.
can handle this. I'm gonna
And
try.
That
also-
feeling.
Yeah, that's
And
the
also
one
how
thing
I
to watch
felt
in
with
movies.
the new Willy Wonka movie, which was weird because I've obviously seen the other ones and know that musical numbers are kind of part of the movies, but
Yeah.
also this new one still felt very different in that it had like dance numbers associated with it too. So it was like leaning very much into the musical side of it. Like we maybe only watched 15 minutes of it and we're like, nope, can't do it.
The worst is when a movie that you are not like you expecting any musical parts of, and you
Just
see
suddenly has it. Yeah.
and it just does it. That is one of the worst, creepiest feelings I think I've ever had in a movie. I could watch Terrifier 3 and have zero issues, but the moment we start breaking into an unannounced musical act in the middle of a movie I've come to watch is the most uncomfortable scenario I can think of.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you could weaponize social anxiety.
Exactly.
Does that
That's
make
exactly it.
sense? Like-
Oh no, they're doing it.
Weapon.
It is just short of a person
Yeah.
singing live in front of you, like just breaking into song
Yeah,
apropos of nothing. You look around, you're like, is this fucking happening right now? Why is it happening to me? And you want to tell them to stop, but you can't because you're frozen in fear. It's exactly that feeling.
We had a crazy preacher on campus who did that occasionally when I went to the U of A. He's somewhat notorious in the community for getting hit in the head with a baseball bat, bringing some very offensive signs places, getting arrested, all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
But he would be like protesting and saying shit like women belong in the kitchen on campus like every week. And the campus wouldn't get rid of him for whatever reason, freedom of speech or something. So we'd just heckle him most of the time. And he had these little songs he had written about how like why masturbating is bad. It's like rude to God or something like that. I can't remember, but he had like these little songs that he wrote, and if you prodded him enough, you could get him to sing them.
Oh my gosh.
What was
Yeah,
his name? Do you remember his name?
Brother Dean. I'm actually apparently in the background of a meme featuring him. But yeah,
I've been memed.
yeah, I actually had a class with him because he was a student there, and I made the mistake of talking to him once, and for obvious reasons, he doesn't have a lot of friends. So like he thought I was his friend
You
for a
gotta be
while, and I'm
kidding
just like,
me.
I don't want to talk to this man. This guy freaks
Not
me out so
friends.
much. Yeah.
No way.
The one that used
Yeah.
to come around where we went to school, that was Micah. I think it was Brother Micah. And their game, this is a pretty well trod. People go to college campuses and do the just hate preaching stuff. Do you know what their deal is?
Other than just spit and hate.
Because we
No.
had some weird characters I can tell you about, speaking of conspiracy theories, but continue on that train of thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep going with that.
Their thing is waiting for somebody to do something to them and suing the fuck out of them.
Oh yeah, Westboro did that a lot. They tried to
Mm.
they actually tried to come to Tucson and protest outside of my school after the mass shooting in 2011.
Man,
So
what a
I
bunch of turds.
I have very sour feelings about them. Bro Dean was hilarious though. One time he had a sign that was like kind of slung over his shoulders, and it was like, you know those no smoking signs? It was like the red circle across through it, but with the word homo instead.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was like it was on the back side of the sign. So he turns around, he points to his ass, and he's like, "This is a no homo zone." And I'm just like, "You're doing this in front of everybody. There's hundreds of people here." But yeah, no, the Atheist Club made a game out of it where they'd give you like little bingo cards when either Bro Dean or Bro Jeb was there, because Bro Jeb is this piece of
That's
work.
great.
But yeah, and if you could get them to talk about all the cringe weird stuff on the bingo card, candy.
Nice.
That one that used to come around Ohio was he did the same shit. Like somebody, I think it was at Kent or something, picked him up and threw him in a bunch of people picked him up and threw him in a fountain, and he sued the ever living shit out of them.
I'm sure. Maybe that's why U of A was so scared to get rid of him, actually.
Yeah, because they get very like lawsuit happy. That's apparently what their bottom line is.
Probably
But the
help
other
keep their
thing is
money to
they
start
go
their
and do
church.
those, and when everybody shows up to dunk on them, they fucking like take photos. The next places are gonna go, they'll be like, "Hey, church that I'm in with over here. Check out all the people coming to my stuff." Like it's very like pre-Trump.
Yeah.
Trump style.
Yeah.
As I
very
recall,
true.
Dean had some choice words for Obama, because that's when I talked to him, was
Oh,
2013. But yeah, he also had a foam finger with the word slut painted on it, and he would just point it at passing women, which was horrible. And then Bro Jeb was a piece of
What
work
a
too,
fucking
because
asshole.
he was like this older guy who thought that Jesus was sending an army of aliens to cleanse the earth. And he knew this because he had, and I'm not kidding when I use this wording, done a Vulcan mind meld with God.
Oh, man.
His
So,
actual words, yep.
It sounds like not a denomination that they were.
Funny story though, Bro Jeb is the first stranger to ever gender me correctly as a trans person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, this is wild. So I'd only been out for like 3 weeks at this point. I still looked like a lesbian. Like I did not pass at all, right? And so Bro Jeb is on campus, and I feel like causing problems on purpose. So I go up to him and I say, "What do you think about trans people?" And he looks me dead in the eyes and he says, "Young man, you need to stop dressing like a lady." And I was like, no fucking way did they hate
Thank you,
preachers
sir.
just get it right. Yeah, and I messed with him a little longer. You know, I said, like, I used to be
Disarming.
a woman. And he's just like, "Oh, do you have a prosthetic penis?" And I'm like, "You want to see?"
Yeah, you want to check it out?
I'm
No.
hacking literally and figuratively.
Yeah, no, it was very, very funny. The guy sucks tremendously, and I do not endorse Bro Jeb whatsoever, but
That's
I don't know.
hilarious.
having someone to heckle, it's kind of like having a village idiot all over again.
I
This is true.
really wanted to get them at. We both were playing in a band together at the time on a college campus. That we had a street festival coming up that had an unusual amount of people come to it. It wasn't for us. It was for the street festival. We were just playing at it. But I was in journalism school, and this person was like always on campus. And I remember going out and talking to him, and I was like, the way I got it in with them was like, "Oh, I'm like reformed. I got these tattoos and piercings, and I wish I never did this. Like, I'm going back. Like, I'm going back to my roots in Christianity or whatever." That was like the whole play to it, right? And I talked to him and like gleaned all this information, and I wouldn't write it down. I would like leave and go back and write it down. And I was trying on the back end, besides just writing at the time, to get him to come to this big street festival and do his he would do the same thing, like songs about homosexuals was one of his big things.
Oh, yeah.
Other than like slut shaming and other all kinds of just the
Just
bevy of
horrendous
like
shit,
hate
yeah.
arrows in his quiver. And I really wanted to try to get him to come there. I was like trying to convince him and his little crew, like, you should really, like, you could really get out to the people if you come down and do this music. And in my brain, I was like, if he comes there and there's the amount of people, there's like thousands of people with this dumbass like street party, it's like they'll just chew him. Like, he'll never make it out of here alive. This would be a perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Didn't happen. He was too smart for that. Not very smart, but too smart for that bait.
Smart enough.
Smart.
Smart enough to sense that trap.
So
in
we
summation,
have our final answer.
What do we got way off topic? I'm so tired. I'm sorry.
Coming back to Cats and Joker too.
The fact that we got to hear from there is fucking amazing. I love it.
And here's the other thing. I'm just gonna. I always end up boiling it down to it's gonna be who I prefer to have to endure for however hour and a half, 2 hours long the movie is. Is it gonna come down to me having to watch Taylor Swift? I can't stand Taylor Swift at all.
I don't.
Sorry to any Taylor.
I don't get it. There's like
I just don't
zero character points there at all.
She's just mid. She's just a pop star, and like it's not, she's not particularly revolutionary.
But there's something about it that like kind of really bothers me about like the fervor of like fans behind her, where it's almost like this. Bear with me here. It's almost like this opposite side of the spectrum of extremism. Where you got like, if it would be MAGA for liberals and their deity is their golden cow is fucking Taylor Swift, because they're like, she's amazing, she's the perfect person ever, she's the greatest musician, she's rated the 8th greatest guitarist in the world. And
I think it's more analogous to like an opposite universe of ICP. That's what I think more analogous to.
Yeah,
because there is like that cult-like following, but it takes wildly different forms.
yeah, and that it's cult-like to Taylor Swift, and that there's like this obsession of how good she is, like she's like the best ever, and that she's. And it's just like you said, she's a mid musician. She's average, and she's not that great.
Yeah, no, not particularly.
she comes from money and people who basically hooked up a whole career.
Oh yeah,
like there was no attrition for a Taylor Swift on this earth. So like, I don't from there like the. I don't mind. It's not something that like I would aggressively turn off, because it's not even noticeable. It comes on in the room and I'm like, I've heard this probably a million times. I don't know what it even is.
The one song she has that is annoying enough that I really have to turn it off is "Shake It Off." I can't stand that song.
Oh,
that one's just.
I have to suffer that because my kids love that shit.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there you go.
That's the other half of it too. Is just like I can't take Taylor Swift, but I have to fucking bite my lip until I bleed, so they can enjoy themselves. I can't tarnish their opinion of people because of my petty.
They're gonna pay.
Part
for this
of it
later
is
in
just
life.
My pettiness.
I think part of the worship of Taylor Swift is just nostalgia to people clinging to some part of their childhood. You see that with a lot of musicians, but it got me thinking about like how 20 years from now, there's going to be like Gen Alpha 30 somethings posting like nostalgia posting on Facebook about Skibbity Toilet or whatever. Like that's just how time goes. Like that's just how time happens.
This is my culture.
That's wild. Yeah, exactly. Like it didn't used to be like even 10 years ago, people weren't nostalgia posting about SpongeBob nearly as much as they do now. But like now, every fucking meme is a SpongeBob meme.
Wendy's
like,
almost got turned over weeks ago because of the SpongeBob thing. The Krabby Patty or whatever they did there.
I did not see that. No.
Elaborate,
please.
There's a place I'm working right now where there's a Wendy's literally right beside it. And I don't know what it was. I assume it was an official promotion of something having to do with SpongeBob. But like, it's some kind of SpongeBob related menu item, and people were fucking. It was way busier than I've ever seen any Wendy's in my whole entire life.
So here's a press release from CNN. Wendy's is celebrating SpongeBob's 25th anniversary with a Krabby Patty meal. Krusty Krab, the fictional fast food restaurant in SpongeBob SquarePants, will never be real, but at least the second best thing is a Krabby Patty. Oh my God!
Right. So just copyright infringement.
Yeah.
Incredible. Hey, speaking of who lives in a pineapple under the sea, you guys want to talk about a conspiracy theory?
Yeah. Let's talk. Finalize my answer on the would you rather. It's Gaga.
Yeah, Joker 2. I'm gonna say Joker 2.
I'm saying cats because
You fucking whore.
I don't.
I'm just kidding.
Because I'm oppositional defiant and because
Because Sean's just built different. That's
I don't it's one of those ones that like I've never seen either of them, but I wonder if Cass is just like so absolutely off the wall that I wouldn't be more entertained by just watching that one.
You know what? That's not a bad take, and I would consider that if you threw a lot of psychedelic drugs into that, because that looks like something that would really take your socks off.
You don't want to take acid when you watch Cats. It's gonna be the worst.
Like I said, they already look terrifying as fuck.
Yeah, you're gonna have a religious experience, but it's gonna be the kind where you see hell. You know what I mean?
God is a cat.
This would be like Event Horizon.
God is Mr. Mistopheles.
The devil is a cat, and Oz are digging into humanity.
I can't.
So,
Babe Judy
pineapple.
No.
Yeah. Anyways, back to pineapples under the sea.
Yeah, and living in them, and living under the sea. I want you guys to tell me the conspiracy behind Atlantis. Who's under the sea? What are they doing? What are they planning? And what does the man not want you to know about it?
Damn.
Wow.
Well,
you first.
Ladies and gentlemen, put on your aluminum foil hats because we're digging in the shit here.
Yeah, this one's gonna get pretty whack. I think some of the sea creatures are in on the grift too.
Atlantis is a deep state job, and it's so deep it starts at the bottom of the sea.
Right. It was CIA experimentation in the 60s and nuclear bombs. They came together and created mer people, and now it's everybody's problem, but nobody knows.
Listen. I think the one truth about Atlantis is that the grift is as old as time, and it's a grift that's been going around forever. It's a deep state grift like the Freemasons, and they're channeling wicked technology coming out of this place called Atlantis. And it's, you know what it is? Fish people. I'm going to say it here. Fish people.
Atlantis is where, my guess is Atlantis is where Jar Jar Binks comes from.
Oh, yes.
Probably right about that. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to be more definitive about that. You are right. You are definitely right about that.
It's the George Lucas set.
That's one of those many things that the CIA does not want you to know about Atlantis.
That was it was an ambassador from Atlantis that actually the deal was to put them in a George Lucas feature film.
Because it's fish people and then human people, and then the ambassadors between the two are frog people, and that's Jar Jar Binks.
It's a deep state project where they were trying to start an underwater world.
Do you get why deep state is a play on words now? Do you understand?
Yeah.
You see? Deep
That's where
state.
the term came from.
Boom. Deep state.
Yeah, because Atlantis is the deepest state. So that's
what the word. And do you know what the project name was? Deep State.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep throat state. Shit.
Deep throat state. Fuck.
Yeah. Now the mermaids are, of course, a major national security threat because, as we all know, they've been planning to take over the surface world for quite a while now.
Right. Listen, they were the unspring of bad experiments down in the deep state, because they went, we need to go somewhere and do these research projects where nobody can find us. And we're going to build a big bubble down at the bottom of the sea, it looks like a big pineapple, but we're gonna do all of our research down there. They started coming up with fucking fish people. They started coming up with talking sponges and fucking all other kinds of shit down there. And you know what? What's his name?
On acid.
And fucking what's his name? James Cameron went down there a few years ago in his little thing to go touch base with them and communicate, and he told us something different. He was like, "Oh, I'm going to go look at the Mariana Trench." Fuck that. He went looking for Atlantis, the deep state.
James Cameron was our ambassador to Jar Jar Binks' people.
Yeah. Jar Jar Binks came out of the deep state.
Yeah, I think that's also where the inspiration for Avatar came from. It was like a mix of his cultural experiences having visited Atlantis and his muscle girl kink, and those two kind of like came together and created Avatar. Not the Last Airbender, the blue people.
Listen, they've been drip feeding us the deep state Atlantis and all kinds of popular media for years, including SpongeBob, fucking Little Mermaid, and all other shit.
And like amateur conspiracy theorists will tell you that it was the Nazis who found Atlantis first, but really it was a long time ago. It was in ancient Egypt when the ancient aliens visited. And they used the pyramids to go down into the ocean because they have a big elevator in there.
Yes, it goes straight down to Atlantis.
And then the cult of Sobek took their seed down into a deep bubble,
right. and that's where Jar Jar Binks comes from.
They're fucking cousins of the cult of Sobek, motherfuckers.
Yeah, you should see the cum cannon on Jar Jar.
Misa so horny.
Misa like fire hydrant.
I wish both of you would stop talking.
Well, Misa gonna shut up now.
No, I think the Atlanteans have been at war with the cult of Sobek for a while now.
Yeah, it was a bitter bloodline war. It was
brother
back in the
brother.
bloodline war. Brother on brother. Wait a second. I mean,
semen everywhere.
There's semen everywhere. The sea is just brimming with semen.
I hate everything I just said. Delete it. I don't want to ever hear it again.
I mean, I think we can all agree that if like any mermaid fucks, it's Aquaman, right? Like Aquaman fucks for sure.
Atlantis was born out of the semen wars. Where scores and scores of semen was dumped into the deep ocean.
There is no place on Earth where it is more anticlimactic to be a large comer when it comes to fighting underwater. Oh my god! Have you ever? I used to. When I was trying to edit video, I always would be like, I'm going to edit porn together because it's just way funnier to do it. And I wanted really bad to put this together, and I never did. But have you ever watched underwater pornography?
I don't want to.
I think I've maybe seen one clip of it.
Let me explain to you what underwater pornography is if you've not seen this.
Just
so
a lot of bubbling.
It is all forms of sex underwater. Any type of coitus. Well, that's very technical.
We're gonna keep it. We're keeping it real scientific.
More than that, it includes way more. But the fucking thing that drives me, like, I just can't stop laughing every time I've seen it, is if somebody ejaculates underwater, you just have to see what it does, because I always wanted to put a sound effect on it that sounded like because it just like dissipates. There's a Chuck Palahniuk story that very, very like grossly describes exactly what this looks like.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Guts.
Yeah.
But
I gotta stop crying for a minute. Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't. There's not a bit. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Semen wars. It's the semen wars. Nobody
always comes
survived the
back to that.
semen wars.
It always comes back to Sobek, doesn't it? We always end up on Sobek again.
We always end up on semen somehow.
Well,
always
see, that's
semen.
the thing. It's like all roads lead to Sobek. The same way, like, when you dig into actual conspiracies, all roads lead to the Nazis. With us, it's Sobek. And I think
Not-
that's more wholesome and a more sex-positive message that I like to convey.
Just asking questions or making
shit.
declaratives. I don't know.
Yeah, we're just asking questions.
We're asking questions. We've made no declarative statements here.
Yeah, but we're asking the real questions. We're asking the right questions.
We're treading the
questions
waters.
that everyone else is afraid to ask.
We need to ask the questions that no one else wants to ask.
Exactly. Which is
What kind of semen's under the sea?
How that ejaculation be doing?
What kind of semen is the deep state hiding?
I want to. There's always
An
like
army of Jar Jar Binkses.
with a conspiracy. There's always an end goal, right? Like we know who's doing the conspiracy. It's the Cum Lords of Atlantis, right? But like,
Otherwise known as they.
what? Yeah, exactly. But what are they planning? Like, what do they want?
Listen, the Earth is made up of 70% of water, meaning the Empire of Atlantis owns almost 3/4 of the entire Earth. So they're trying to get the government is trying to infiltrate the deep state of Atlantis and take it over so that they can rule the seas and have all the semen they could ever desire.
Right, because the Cold War didn't end. The Cold War didn't end. It just went underwater. The Cold War didn't end.
It just went to the sea.
The Cold War didn't end. It defrosted.
It just iced over.
They've been building underwater nukes this whole time.
With two giant suppositories of fuel tanks at the end, it looks like balls.
Yeah, that tracks. But what do they want? Like, what do they really want?
Listen, man, the Mariana Trench, it's the gateway. It's the gateway to the. Here's another wild ass conspiracy theory into the hollow earth down under.
Well, that's the deepest. That's the deeper deep state.
Because guess what?
Even the deep state doesn't know about that deep state.
Yeah, they're wanting to know about it because they guard the only gateway into the deepest of all states, the hollow earth.
Which, as we know, is populated entirely by Godzillas.
Yes.
They're people, and they're quite intelligent, but they are Godzillas.
And enormous gorillas.
They can't stop smashing these cities to pieces. It's just in their nature. They hate metropolitan areas.
Now, see, they have some very clear desires, though, because Godzilla's
technology.
They eat electricity, and we're making a lot of it up here. So they want to get up here. But they got to go through Atlantis first, and there's like some diplomatic troubles between those two.
Well, it's in fucking water, and water and electricity don't mix.
Yeah, you can't run these cables through water.
Actually, contrary, I disagree. I think water and electricity mix too well, and the electricity goes everywhere.
It's a strong
that might be true.
That's a very strong point.
Touche.
What if
you got me there?
What if the Godzillas are like the Amazon Prime of electricity to Atlantis? I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I think maybe
they're the undersea batteries.
There is conflict in Atlantis. There are two opposing forces, and one of them wants to team up with the Godzillas to steal all of our electricity so they can take over the world. And I think the other faction is working with us to get rid of the Godzillas, because the Godzillas eat all their electricity, and that, this is polarizing time down there.
What I think it is
polarizing, also electricity, Joe.
But
what I think is that the Atlanteans are censoring the gays down there in the LGBT community, and it's a whole war, and they're not letting them have their semen. And it's turning out bad. And the U.S. is trying to stake its claim in getting some of that semen, because the semen is it's like an unobtainium down there.
Yeah, they've got like a whole new secret element like arc reactors down there.
Silos and silos of it.
Yeah.
Well, there's
super,
only
super
C
duper radioactive.
C man. You don't hear C person. They're all Jar Jar Binks.
Right. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. Like amateurs, sheeple, think that mermaids are sexy, but actually they're fucking gross and ugly. They're all fucking Jar Jar Binks.
Hideous.
And they talk like that too. In all of our diplomatic meetings, because as you know, Jar Jar Binks was a diplomat. One of the few bits of Star Wars lore that I do know, actually. So yeah, that's another conspiracy theory we could talk about. Actually, I'll save that one for later. But
Jar Jar Binks is real role.
Yeah. That was more of a fun fan theory than anything, but
there was a great session in Story Break back in the day that did a
Jar Jar Binks movie.
Yeah, the Jar Jar Binks movie, taking down the Empire. That was a great fucking episode.
No. But it got better because they wrote the full script eventually. Like
Did they
actually made it. Yeah, and they documented it over the podcast. Yeah. Anyway.
That's fucking great. Anyways, aside from Jar Jar Binks, don't sue us, Disney.
Just imagining like Jar Jar showing up to UN meeting, like Misa here to represent Atlantis.
Misa have all your interests in mind.
Yeah.
There's a cold puddle of jizz at this podium.
Jar Jar. Whoopsie. That's on me.
It's funny. I've only ever watched the movie that he's in once, and it was when I was like 5. So I don't remember anything about it other than even at like age 5 being really annoyed.
You hear the Emperor come to the podium. Somebody needs to explain to me why coming himself randomly. This podium is covered in semen. Sorry. Sometimes I get too excited. Misa get too excited.
Misa about to bust.
And that is why diplomatic relations between Atlantis and the Earthlings are quite terrible. It's just because of Jar Jar Binks. Why did they hire that guy? Who knows?
Because straight white males are really uncomfortable around semen,
right?
And they can't be
anybody else's semen.
Yeah, except their own.
For
some reason, they can go so far as swallowing their own, but they can't shake hands with another good-natured Atlantean.
They can fill up a jar with it along with a little model of Rainbow Dash, but they can't fucking they can't stand to the sight of another.
They can't stand to the sight. They're like, nope, not shaking hands with that thing.
And meanwhile, the people in Atlantis, they all have their Joe crystals. Like they're on board with it, and this major cultural difference.
That's how they make electricity.
Yes, Joe crystals are a sign of citizenship in Atlantis.
Right, and it's a sign of status too. Like if you're rich, you have a bigger one.
You have a fucking
like what's your pure wattage output?
Yeah,
pearl necklace of Joe crystals, wrapping your neck like the African tribes.
Jar Jar Binks meets the president of the United States as a diplomatic gift, hands him a Joe crystal.
So much power.
This is a gift from my people.
The power is emanating from this
unlimited power. But you see, Atlanteans have found a way to turn this into sustainable energy.
It's over 9,000!
Right? Sustainable energy. They're there. It's the Joe crystals, right? And the CIA wants it.
It's true sustainable energy. If only we could figure out how to have energy for the rest of existence, or for as long as we have males.
That's what it is. Like, that's what it is. U.S. government wants the tech, right? Because they like to take things, right?
They love
that imperialism.
Tech.
They want the latest intelligence and all that, and they're finding out, oh, holy shit, we can make unlimited energy out of Joe crystals. We got to get this technology, and because we're the U.S. and we have to have the biggest dick in the room at all times, we can't just ask nicely. We got to go steal it.
Gotta go get us these Joe crystals.
They
have weapons of mass destruction.
The conspiracy of Atlantis is JO crystals.
Cold jizz can't melt steel beams.
They're trying.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, but Joe crystals sure can.
They're trying to traffic JO crystals out of fucking Atlantis.
It's like blood diamonds.
That's what happened. It's like blood diamonds, but with semen.
Never forget September 69th.
Sperm diamonds.
Sperm diamonds.
Oh,
The sea is brimming with sperm diamonds. We just don't know it yet.
We're gonna alienate so many listeners.
I don't even fucking care. This is too funny. Oh shit!
Spunk
That's
diamonds.
the secret tech. That's the secret tech that's gonna change the world.
No. Spunk diamonds.
God. The worst word. There are a lot of words for cum, but that one's the worst one.
It gives us. Oh God. Oh, if so many weren't running through my head right now, I would agree with you.
We're running a Black Ops mission down to Atlantis to steal some diamonds. You gather your stuff. We're going in stealth.
And there's alliteration. We're
We're
stealing.
dogging this one,
We're
boys.
stealing spunk diamonds. We're stealing spunk diamonds for the states.
As we have been for every episode thus far, pre-demonetizing the channel.
No, we just gotta find the right financiers. we gotta go to those JO crystal manufacturers.
Well, they're run by the Atlanteans, though. And,
Deep state spunkers.
I think we can apply for a grant.
The spelunkers. Whoa! Spunk spelunkers.
Every time you say that word, it gets worse.
Yeah. Great.
It really just gives a lot of sensory information along with a word.
Yeah, you're talking about moist. Like, I feel like that encapsulates like the moistness, the sound, and everything included in the action.
And olfactory.
Spunk factory.
Somebody making waffles?
Is that a spunk waffle?
Did I ever tell you guys about how, and this lives in my head rent free, a very popular YouTuber basically ate cum on camera and got away with it?
Oh man. Well, I guess that shouldn't surprise me. I'm sure it's happened probably more than
No, but
Like
here's the
veil-
thing:
like
he didn't even
veiled?
know. He didn't even know he was doing it. So if you're familiar with Nile Red, he does like chemistry videos, and he did a demo on how you can extract pure DNA from strawberries.
from cum. From strawberries.
No, but-
Okay.
Here's the thing: cum is just a bunch of DNA, right? So
Yeah.
when this DNA comes out, it's all slimy and stringy white stuff.
Don't you say that about my unborn babies. Continue.
And so at the beginning of the video, he says, I want to try eating it because I want to see how it tastes. And so he eats it and he describes it and he's like, it's like weirdly salty. And I'm just like, oh my God, dude, you just ate cum on camera. You did that. And you posted it on the internet and you didn't know.
And he got
But
a
the
million hits, and he's like,
comments,
I made money off of
The comments, no. I was looking at the comments and they're all like, oh, dude, you didn't.
You did not just do that.
It's really a shortcut if you think about it, because how many strawberries do you have to eat before it doesn't before you don't
Before
have to
one
call
finally
it spunk
comes.
anymore?
Of all the insane things that guy has done, by the way, like he does some truly insane shit with chemistry, like making bulletproof
shit.
wood or turning like paint thinner into cherry soda or stuff like that. Of all the insane shit, like that's cool. This is the most insane because, like, how did he not know? You know, like-
Ironically, the strawberry DNA came Gave him bulletproof wood.
It would have been more revealing if he just flat out went, tastes like cum. Like, shit, that just tastes like a straight sperm shot. Oh, wait. I don't know what that tastes like. Cut the feed. Cut the feed.
I love it.
Oh, man.
This reminds me of something.
Oh, God, it would have been so much funnier if he did say he liked it and then ate the rest of it. I mean, it would be worse, but like...
I just follow-up video, but I learned a lot about myself. Last experiment.
Oh, fuck.
We are very we're feeling very silly this evening, aren't we?
Yeah.
Just not really sticking to any one particular
We
topic.
hit that.
We're just sorta...
We hit that. Yeah, I think we just hit that level of the sillies.
Yeah, there's like that late night buffer, like when you're tired but you're not like sleepy yet, you're just sort of in between.
Yeah.
And that's when you get silly. And that's
Exactly.
I mean, granted, I did, as Rob Zombie would say, take one fat rip off the devil's bong about an hour ago. But you know,
Smart move. Smart move.
Tell me that's in Dragula.
that's
I'm gonna
from
hit me
Living
some
Dead
of
Girl,
that.
actually.
Well, hit me some of that Dragula. Sucking
I
on
never know
some
what he's
Dragula.
saying.
So, since the Atlanteans are obviously going to end the world with their Joe Crystal technology,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's
Where
another
are
name for it. You're
you?
skipping.
where are you going for the end of the world? What are you going to do? How are you going to hide? How are you going to defend yourself? What's going to happen?
Listen, the sea is a dangerous place. There's a lot of creatures down there, you know? A lot of unknowns. I'm going the farthest away from any kind of water. I'm going into the mountains.
Oh, join me. I've got an advantage for that because I live in the fucking desert.
Well,
That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go up into
I'm just saying I don't want
foothills.
water to be a problem, but I also don't want to live near water. The sea, the ocean.
No, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up into like Catfoot or like Dove Mountain and just steal one of those mansions. Just go in there with me and my militia buddies, kill all the rich people, take over with my army of coyotes, and we're going to build a fence made out of cactus, and nobody's going to be able to get in, and that's going to be our compound. Just
An army of
saguaros
coyotes.
everywhere. Yep.
Smart. It's smart. That's what any natural person I think would and should do. An army of fucking wolves.
What apocalypse are we dealing with here?
The cum apocalypse.
Oh, the jail crystal apocalypse.
The cum apocalypse.
I'm going to the center of town and trying to catch that load right in my mouth.
I'm going down the fucking ground zero, baby. Here we come.
Going to ground zero with me and all the other
boys.
perverts.
I'm back.
I had heard somebody somewhere on something say like, out if the bombs are coming, I'm gonna go try to catch that in my teeth, and there was my opportunity to really capitalize on it.
See, but then
When the bombs
there's
drop,
question,
I'm gonna catch that in my teeth.
like, what if you end up with a megaton situation where like there's an undetonated like Joe Crystal in the center of a town?
A mega cum crystal.
Yeah.
Oh no, they've released the mega cum.
I sure hope you guys got that Fallout 3 reference, but if you didn't, I'm so sorry.
Megaton.
Yeah, because like, do you build a town around it? Do you stay far away from it?
I'm building a town around this load, just like the Atlanteans.
I build a town out of it. I built my town straight into that motherfucking crystal, baby.
Yeah, just chisel into it. What could go
Chisel
wrong?
right into it. I'm gonna make a big ass temple out of that place.
Can you imagine the bus tour stories about my town?
A temple to Sobek. There, we did it. We brought it back to Sobek.
Temple to Sobek, and the walls are gonna look like ghosts of people inside. Like,
That's perfect. We're at an hour and 8. Cut it. We came full circle.
Cut to black. Directed by M. Night Shyamalan.
The city's been made from it this whole entire time. The city is
I
powered
call
by
that
spunk.
I call that movie Dark City.
Executive producer Dick Wolf.
Oh,
Thank you
God.
again to Unveiling Nightmares for hosting this horrific on their channel.
This was salt on the
Bless your
senses.
hearts for being
your hearts.
so cool with so much.
And letting us do this show. And thank you again very much to Shawnee Saint and the Bottle Rats for lending us our theme song. It's the tune Teenage Jacket by on the album Fuck Me, I Hate My Life right now.
Nothing gets cut.
On the album, All My Friends Are Animals.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. It still gets me sometimes.
All my
back
friends
there
are
in
Jar
the
Jar
back of the head.
Binks.
All my friends are nothing big.
Man, that album couldn't be named something better. Shit.
Listen, go check out the Bottle Rats on Bandcamp, on Spotify, on Amazon. They got all kinds of good tunes over there. If you'd like to share your ideas and any of your thoughts on Party Bonus, or if you want to contribute to our Rad Lib features, drop us a line in the comments. And also smash that like button and subscribe. So,
yes, subscribe.
Lastly, thank you again. My name is Zach.
My name is Ev.
My name is Jar Jar Binks.
I almost signed off as saying my name is Sobek, but you did that sort of thing, Sean, and I really like that commitment to the bit.
Yes, you did. We are all Jar Jar Binks. Check out our links in the dibbity doo.
Damn.
We'll catch
the
you
links in
next
the YouTube
time.
comments.
Smash that like and subscribe. Peace.
Oh my God.
Oh, there's so much cum.
Your feelings.